there is a growing debate around a new frontier of artificial intelligence, one that blends digital intimacy and one that also combines the concerns of privacy. As AI chatbots roll out features capable of generating intimate content, experts warn that the real danger has nothing to do with morality and everything to do with your data. Joining us this morning to talk about it is Professor Vasant Dhar, who is professor at NYU's Stern School of Business and the Center for Data Science. He's also the author of the upcoming book, Thinking with Machines, The Brave New World of AI, which, by the way, is released tomorrow. So tomorrow, this is the eve of right now. He says anybody interacting with AI in these intimate ways is playing with fire, not because of the content. It's not, again, about the morality, but because of what happens with your personal data. Professor Dhar, welcome. This sounds like a very important warning we have to pay attention to.
Thanks, Ken. Great to be on the show.
You bet. And good luck with the book tomorrow. That's exciting. I'm very excited
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
It's a big
And
deal.
by the way, and the launch event is actually today. So today is a big day. There's a launch event for the book at NYU. You're the first person I'm talking to today.
Thank you. I think we talked about this last time. I'm a graduate of the Tisch School, TSOA, on 721 Broadway at NYU, so I
Okay.
know it well. Good deal. Have a great. I hope you have 1 million people turning out for that. That's great. Now, you have said that people using AI for erotica or intimate conversations are playing with fire. So talk about the danger about the data as opposed to the morality.
Yeah, so this might be a bit of a Faustian bargain, and that one should be aware of. The data belongs to the operator of the AI, and there are no data protection laws. So, one of the things I advise people in dealing with systems like this is to be prepared for the data to go public, right? So you should only share with the machine information that you're willing for to go public. If you're comfortable with that, that's okay. But that should be like a primary check on your interaction. It's not any different from email, right? When you send out emails, you should be willing for that email to go public. Are you okay with that? In which case, write what you need to write. So that's a good sort of sanity check when you're dealing with these kinds of machines.
So if you're having what you believe is an intimate moment with an AI chatbot, and you say, "Oh, I like to be tied up in my wife's stockings and have my socks in my mouth." I mean, not to, there's an image that'll make us all kind of puke, but nonetheless, that information could get out, and it could get out with if you gave them your actual name, that could get out there, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it very well could, right? There are no laws, right? So the operator of the bot could say, look, we do our best, but we could get hacked. The stuff could go public. Someone could take a look at it and release it. So there are no guarantees about data protection. But there's another issue, which is now you're sharing something about yourself that is incredibly intimate and personal. And there's a lot of information in that. So the operator of the air now knows your deepest desires and tendencies. And is that something you really want getting out there?
At the very least, if somebody wants to entertain that, it sounds like I'm asking for myself. I'm not, I promise. I'm weird, but not in this way. And whatever. If this is what makes somebody happy, God bless them. If
And
somebody, right, go ahead.
I'm not. No. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll
No,
come
I was
back
going to
to
say
that
if
later.
somebody wants to do this, and we're free to do this, should they at the very least be very clandestine in terms of their identity?
Yes, but that is hard to do, especially when you start sharing images, right? You start sharing images, your identity is out there, right? The computer knows who you are. So it just depends on what kind of information you're sharing. And it's become harder and harder to be clandestine these days. It's just, you know, your identity
Especially
is hard to disguise.
if they have to give a credit card, right? If they're giving a credit card, now your name, address, phone number, everything's out there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's harder and harder to find a place to hide.
I mean, technically, if you have a really bad operator, say from another country, they could manipulate you. They could even sell that data back to you. They could say, if you don't want us to talk about you, maybe you might want to give us another $1,000.
Yeah, exactly. There are those possibilities, but I will mention one other thing, Ken, which is that it's not necessary for the operator of AI to act maliciously for the AI itself to act maliciously. In other words, the operator of the AI could say, get close to your user. And that seems like an innocuous enough objective. But in the process, the AI might decide or discover that the best way to do that is through deception and manipulation, right? Unknown to the operator of the AI. So there is that aspect of the of the machine that people should be aware of. And so the operator of the AI might sort of claim, look, I wasn't aware of this, right? This is something that happened. It wasn't intentional. And at the moment, there are no laws uh, about who is responsible when things like this happen. And these are some of the things we need to think about that I describe in my book that we're not thinking about at the moment. And there's some urgency to this, especially given the pace at which AI is advancing.
And Professor Dar, it's just coincidental. At 8:30, we have a tech guy who's coming on, one of our regular tech people. He's talking about the new app that allows you to videotape a loved one while they're alive for 3 minutes, talking, moving, etc., and then it creates basically a robot, an AI image that talks, so that when the person dies, you can have communication with the app forever. I mean, talk about playing with somebody's emotions and what that could potentially lead to. A loved one, a parent who dies, and then you're talking to your phone as if it's your parent and it answers you. How bad could that become?
Ken, this is really a double-edged sword, and AI is perhaps the biggest double-edged sword created by humanity, right? This is a technology created without a purpose, and now we're finding uses for it. And the use that you're talking about is one of those things which on the surface seems like, yeah, that would be nice. But there's something very dystopian about it as well. And there's a movie on
Hmm.
this, about
Yes,
I don't recall the name,
indeed.
that that gets
Yeah.
into the subtleties and the complexities of technologies like this and building applications
Doc,
like this, right? It's
Professor, I got to cut you off only because we're out of time. We're about hard commercial coming up. So I want to remind people I have the book signing today. The book is called Thinking with Machines: The Brave New World of AI. That's out tomorrow. Make sure you buy it. Professor Vasant Dhar, professor of NYU's Stern School of Business and the Center for Data Science. We love when you come on. Have a great day.
Thank you, Ken.